Hello, hello. Great to see you all. I am tuning in today from obviously a hotel room and just spent the weekend here in Horseshoe Bay outside of Austin. I wish you could see the view behind me. Or in front of me. It's a gorgeous, sunny, cool day at the lake and wanted to tune in and still do this live for you all. So thank you for being here. And today we're going to be talking about 3 keys to unshakable confidence as a coach. As I like to call it, the confident coach. So this is, I think one of my favorite topics to talk about because what I see is so much of the time what stops people is lack of confidence or self-doubt or imposter syndrome. And we've done videos really specifically addressing those, but I kind of wanted to flip it around today and go to the other side, which is how do you just have confidence? How do you put yourself out there and feel really, really good about your coaching, about your marketing, about your message? So we're going to jump in here shortly, but go ahead and let me know that you can see and hear me. I want to make sure the internet's working okay here and we've got clear signal. So type in the chat if you're new to these lives. I like to make them super interactive. I want to answer questions. I want to do coaching. So type in the chat and just introduce yourself. Let me know that you can see me and hear me. So why this topic is so important and why it's so important to me is that I think any of you watching right now will know that some days when you're building your coaching business, it feels exciting, it's inspiring, you're going for it, and you're dreaming of, the success you're going to create and the freedom and the impact. And then there's these other days or other times where it just feels like nothing's working. You're putting yourself out there, you're getting crickets in return, and it feels tiring, discouraging, and even exhausting. And so I hear this all the time, right? That coaches start their businesses, they're full of enthusiasm and excitement, and then they are putting themselves out there, they're breaking through fears, and then they feel like nothing's really happening, or they're getting either no clients or they're getting some clients, but not as many as they hoped, and it's not going as well as they hoped. And that's I know the feeling because, as you probably have already heard, I was in that boat in early 2017 when I first tried to start my coaching business, and I literally was in that exact position. I put myself out there, I faced my fears, announced I was going to be coaching, and got one client who wasn't paying me very much money and couldn't afford to basically continue. I had to go back to my previous career in marketing. And so I'm sharing from experience here. I'm not like, oh, I have everything figured out. And right, we've got a few things figured out now. Things are definitely in a different place now. But I remember what that was like to be really down on myself and not feel confident and know that this is what I felt like I was wanting to do, but not be getting the results that I knew I was capable of. So okay, go ahead and say hello in the chat. I want to make sure that you guys can see and hear me. I haven't heard a yes yet, so I'm just going to assume it's working. So over time, when this happens to many of the coaches I talk to, their confidence starts to fade and they begin doubting themselves. They begin comparing themselves to other coaches online and then wondering in a lot of cases if coaching is even their calling after all. And I remember feeling that way when I went through that, like maybe I'm not really supposed to do this, right? It's not working. Maybe that's a sign. And it took a lot of courage to start again and try again. And in my case, it took getting support to walk me through those fears and to help me see exactly what to do. But today we're going to be talking about the other side, which is how do you really step out with confidence? And what have I learned in those years since and in building a, business on the way to 7 figures here? What have I learned about confidence as a coach in your coaching, in your marketing and messaging, in all areas? Okay. So I'm on a mission to really shift this trend of so many coaches giving up their dreams and taking themselves out of the game because they don't feel confident, because they get stuck and don't know, excuse me, how to move through what's holding them back. They don't know the path to get there. And to really empower those coaches to step into their power, step into their magnetism, and get the clients that they want and change those lives and live the life that they know deep down they're capable of. So that's my mission. And here at Follow Your Aliveness, it is what we are all about. And I want you to feel 100% confident in yourself as a coach. So that's what we're talking about today. So I want you to share in the chat, just so I kind of know where you are. How confident do you feel right now in your coaching, your marketing, and your message? So when you think about putting yourself out there as a coach, how magnetic do you feel? Okay, I'm going to give you 3 options. And even if you're watching the replay, I want you to put this in the chat, because as I share frequently on these lives, the more you put into them, the more you will get out of them. The more you participate, the more you will get. It's very different to sit back and passively listen to something than it is to really be actively participating. So I'm going to give you 3 options, okay? I want you to type either on fire, which means like I am out there, I'm going for it, I feel magnetic, I feel confident, right? On fire. That's your option number 1. Second one is slow burn. Okay, slow burn. You can type it in the chat if this one applies to you. And that is, I've got some confidence. I've worked through some of my fears. I'm putting myself out there a little bit, but I know deep down I could be doing more. And even if I am putting myself out there, it's not really getting the results that I hope for. So that would be a slow burn. You can type that in the chat. And then third is lukewarm. Lukewarm. So lukewarm is like, I know I want to coach. Sometimes I've posted something, or sometimes I've gone out to a networking event, or but the truth is I don't really feel like I'm in my confidence and my magnetism in the way that I need to be. I know something needs to change there. I'm just not sure what. So that would be lukewarm. So I want you to type either on fire, slow burn, or lukewarm in the chat. All right. So what I want to talk about is, how do you embody this kind of confidence when you faced so many challenges, right? The confidence I'm talking about is like, let me just describe it to you, because the truth is, when I say unshakable confidence, I don't mean that you're never going to feel self-doubt. That's not realistic. But when you do experience self-doubt, it's not going to shake your confidence anymore, okay? So here's what I mean by, let's call it like being the confident coach or being a magnetic coach. Would be, how do I experience this now? It's like, I definitely still have days where self-doubt comes in, or fear comes in, especially if I'm pushing myself to a new edge. I'm like stretching out of my comfort zone. But I will say that the large majority of the time, I have enormous confidence in, first of all, my coaching ability, my ability to work with people. That feels very solid to me. Our clients get incredible results and, come back and work with us again and again and refer their friends. And I've just seen now, right, the results of that over so much time. But I didn't have that when I just started out. I didn't have all of these success stories to look at and go, wow, I can build my confidence on that. So how do you build confidence from the beginning, right? Before you have all those success stories? That's what I want to talk about. So it's really feeling like let me just tune into when I did gain that confidence as I was putting myself out there. Yeah, a lot of it comes through like the action. We're going to talk about the how in just a moment, but it's that feeling of, I know without a doubt that my coaching gets results. And then the next piece is an unshakable confidence is, I know the business side. And even if I don't know the business side, I'm going to learn what I need to learn. It's like, whether or not I get results is not personal. It has nothing to do with me being good enough or not good enough. It means that I just haven't tried the right strategy, or I just haven't hired the right coach or gotten the right support. And I'm going to keep going for it because I know without a doubt, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay. I know without a doubt, I have what it takes. And really feeling congruent as a coach, feeling like I'm doing the inner work myself. I am an example of what I'm teaching, right? I have lived and embodied this transformation, and so I feel really good about sharing it with others. this is what I mean when I say the confident coach. This is what I mean when I say unshakable confidence. It's not about like unshakable confidence means your results are up, your results are down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You have a great month, you have a challenging month, it doesn't matter, right? You have someone get incredible results from your coaching, you have someone else who doesn't get as great results, it doesn't matter. Because, yeah, you may have a moment or a day or something where you feel down or you feel discouraged, but underneath your your clarity that this is what you're meant to do, your like intent and your perseverance keeps going. You see, that's what we're talking about with unshakable confidence. So again, type either on fire, slow burn, or lukewarm to let me know where you feel like you are right now on that spectrum. And then let's get into how can you move past when you have self-doubt or disappointments happen in your business. This is a really big one, is a lot of people have disappointments, right? So you're going for it, you're putting yourself out there and people don't sign up. Or like I said, you get a client and it doesn't go as well as you hope. How do you recover from those disappointments and keep going and feeling confident in yourself? So I want you to feel confident in your coaching. I want you to feel confident in your marketing and your messaging and in your own personal self and transformation. And this actually connects to the 3 keys that we're going to be talking about today, which are what I call the coaching trinity. Okay, the coaching trinity. And that is coaching mastery, business mastery, and life mastery. I want you, if you're taking notes, to write those down. Coaching mastery, business mastery, and life mastery. I'm going to describe them in just a moment. But first, I just want to hear, like, what those of you watching live, because I see some of you on here, like, what are you struggling with the most in your confidence? Last week's live was like so freaking engaged, and I was able to really get in and coach everyone on the call. So I'd love to know from you, what are you struggling with the most in terms of your confidence? Okay, if you type that in the chat, then I can support you. So back to the coaching trinity. We have coaching mastery, business mastery, and life mastery. So let's talk about coaching mastery first. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of paint the picture of what it's like to have that 100% confidence in that arena, to really have mastered the art of coaching. So this is, if you imagine like increasing your client success rate. Imagine that every client you work with, they just rave about you. They get incredible results. And you just feel this deep down sense of like, I know what it takes to create deep and lasting transformation for people. I know what it takes to change lives. It's not about you. They have to do the work too, right? But I know the grid, so to speak. I know the path. I know the way to get people there. I'm not just a deep listener or, have a natural knack. I've really developed and honed my skills in such a way that I feel confident. You can put me on a call with just about anyone in my, area of expertise, and I know that I can get them results. Imagine how that would feel. And then imagine that because of that, more and more people, like so many of your clients that you work with, not only rave about you, but they tell you, I've literally had this happen many times on calls. You're getting to the last session with a client and they say, I'm not done. Like, tell me how I keep working with you. Imagine how that would feel. I'm not done. Tell me how I keep working with you. And you tell them and they're just like a yes right there, not even having to re-enroll them because they're such a yes, right? And having more and more of these, more and more soulmate clients who want to work with you again and again, instead of you having to be out there always looking for new leads. If you would love like what I'm sharing so far, say I'm in the chat, right? Just that confidence we're talking about, retaining more clients, and then getting more referrals because people are telling everyone about you. They're telling all their friends. Like many of our clients come through referral and come through word of mouth. And that's how we've grown a very successful multiple 6-figure coaching business, is through some marketing, of course, but it's simpler than you think in that regard. But the referrals and the people sharing, and that's because the coaching mastery. That's because we dedicate ourselves to our programs being the best in the industry and, really giving people support on a very personalized level in our programs. So that is what I call coaching mastery. And what I want you to do as we go through each of these is take some notes, because I want you to start to identify, where, because if you're not feeling fully confident in yourself, it's in one of these three areas that I call the coaching trinity. Okay, we're talking about coaching mastery, business mastery, and life mastery. It's in one or more of those three areas. And what we want to do is identify which area is it in, or multiple if it is, because then we know exactly what you need to do to go out and fix it. You understand? It's like so much for people, they feel stuck, they lose confidence, and it's because they don't know like what problem to be solving, so to speak, or how to get to that next level. So that I'm giving you a map here to unshakable confidence, to that next level in your coaching business, by helping you identify where the gaps are. So this is where we're talking about these three keys. And then I actually have another bonus piece that we're going to talk about at the end as well. So that was coaching mastery. So give yourself sort of a score on a scale of 0 to 100, and you could type it in the chat, a score of how much do you think you've really nailed coaching mastery. And like I just described here, right? If 100 is everything I just described feels like right on for you. You feel super confident, you're getting those repeat clients, you're getting those referrals, then that would be 100 out of 100, right? Or a 0 is you don't feel any of that, right? So where are you in that scale? Go ahead and type that in the chat, write it down in your notes so that you have that and you can start to identify where the gap is. Okay, next we're going to talk about business mastery. So business mastery, I want you to imagine knowing exactly what it takes to find and enroll clients without needing to invest all your time, money, and energy into branding or complicated marketing funnels or posting all the time on social media. All these things that you may or may not be doing, but you think you need to be doing to get results. Now, do you need to do some of that stuff? Of course, but people overcomplicate it. And this is what I see again and again and again, is they're running around doing all these different things and not actually getting the results. I know people with hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers who have no paying clients, right? I know people who are posting every single day on social media and don't have any paid clients. So imagine if instead of that, you knew exactly what you needed to do to move the needle forward, to get that next paying client. Imagine feeling that confident in your next steps when it comes to your coaching business, because it's different for everyone. There's strategies that you can learn, but every person is unique and the path that you need is unique, right? So that kind of confidence of you wake up in the morning, you know exactly what to do, and feeling crystal clear about your unique gifts. So you're like, you know what to do, and you also know what makes you unique, what makes you stand out in the industry, and who you are meant to serve, who is your ideal client. So you can go out there and you know exactly where to find them, right? This is why the ideal client thing gets so many people tripped up. And, I always say you can serve people other than your ideal client, but you want to choose one because it makes it so much easier for you to know where to find them and for people to know who to refer to you, right? Think about that. So no more of this spinning your wheels, feeling confused, feeling pulled in 10 different directions. I talk to a lot of people, they've gone through 17 different business coaching programs, or they've started 17 different business coaching programs is more like it, and not finished any of them, and they're still feeling confused, right? So imagine having that crystal clarity and that confidence. And then because of all this, attracting more clients who are a heck yes to working with you, because by the way, a huge piece of business mastery is sales mastery. It's learning how to invite someone in to work with you and have them say yes. Not because you've convinced them or pushed them or pressured them into something, but because they've experienced a profound transformation or aha moments just in their initial conversations with you, right? They've experienced transformation. They're hooked. They're ready to go to that next level. They know that they need support, and they know you're the person to take them there. Imagine how that would feel. Never having to feel like you're selling yourself. Instead, just having these really profound transformational conversations. When I talk to people, when we have people come into our programs, we lead with that kind of service. And I want you to feel the same way, that you're leading with service, and that then people are coming in because they know they can only get so far on their own, or they can get there maybe sometimes, but it's going to be very slow process to try to figure it out on their own, right? So imagine all of that I just shared about knowing exactly what you need to do to move your business forward, knowing crystal clear on your unique gifts, crystal clear on who you want to serve, knowing how to find and enroll those clients, knowing your packages and pricing, having all of that dialed in to where you can just show up and put yourself out there, take those steps, and the clients come. So that would be 100, right? We're talking about rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 100 in each of these areas. So 100 would be what I just described. And I want you to type in the chat, where are you right now? 0 to 100. And write down in your notes as well. You should have rated yourself now on coaching mastery and on business mastery. And remember, the reason we're doing this is to help you see where are the gaps so that you can address them. Okay, and we'll talk more about that. So 0 to 100, where are you right now on business mastery? That's the next one. And then finally, we want to talk about life mastery. And this is one that most people leave out. This is the third key to unshakable confidence as a coach, because life mastery, what I'm calling life mastery, is not like you have everything in your life figured out. By the way, that's not true in any of these. You're not going to ever have it all figured out. There's always going to be questions. There's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be more for you to learn. True masters at their craft don't stop learning. They are insatiably curious. That's what makes them a master more often than not. It's just that they stuck with it over time and they're curious and they keep going, right? So in that, I want you to not see this as like, oh, being perfect, but instead, like, just where are you on the scale right now? And how much gap is there? And where is that gap to get to where you want to go? So life mastery. What am I describing as life mastery? Well, I want you to imagine feeling lit up and alive on a daily basis, full of energy, inspiration, feeling inspired about what you do, about your life and your work, right? I'm sitting here right now. I'm in this hotel room. I just spent the weekend with my husband here at a beautiful resort. And like, this is the life, you guys. I'm going into a retreat. Oh, we have women flying in from 5 countries or something like that this week. We're hosting an amazing 5-day retreat in Austin, Texas. And, you know, I'm living the life of my dreams, truly. And I know it can keep getting better from here, but it's so good. Like, sure, there are days where I'm tired or days where things don't feel like they're going my way, but all in all, I feel lit up, I feel inspired, and not only about my business, but also about my life, right? And that is what I want you to imagine for yourself. What would that be like for you to feel that way? Really picture it. And imagine being truly in your function, where you're tapped into your unique gifts and you have ideally an incredible team of people or people you partner with or whatever that might look like for you, people around you who support you to be in your zone of genius. And this is the place, like the sweet spot, where you're getting results and you're having fun doing it. Okay? And then imagine having deeply connected relationships, having incredible health, and a lifestyle that you love. A lifestyle you love. Not having to sacrifice in any of these areas in order to be successful. This is the biggest thing I see with people is they think, oh, in order to have a successful business, I'm going to have to sacrifice in these other areas. But I want you to imagine what it would be like to really go for having it all. And that these areas of your life actually get richer with each year that passes. And the more you grow in your business, the richer these other areas of your life become. And this is what we do with people as we work with them over time. And this is what we call life mastery. So this is the third key to unshakable confidence as a coach. So life mastery is really transforming yourself. It's transforming your own life in the process. And so I want you to rate yourself again, if you're writing this down on a scale of 0 to 100 right now, where do you feel in terms of life mastery? Life mastery doesn't mean everything is working all the time. That's not realistic. It just means you feel deep down fulfilled. You have that richness you're looking for in your life. You love your lifestyle. You love your relationships. You're taking care of yourself. That is life mastery. So where are you right now on a scale of 0 to 100? So we've basically given you this map now, as we've gone through these steps, this map to unshakable confidence by identifying where are the gaps. And I see some of you are jumping in partway through here. So if you are, definitely go back and watch the beginning after we're done here. But what we've been talking about is the 3 keys to unshakable confidence as a coach, being what I call the coaching trinity, which is coaching mastery, business mastery, life mastery, right? Coaching trinity. And so really identifying where are the gaps for you so that you can fill them. So I'm curious, for those of you who have been watching, what have you identified as the area of the biggest gap? Because if you tell me that, then we can actually do some live coaching around that. I'm happy to just keep talking. I can definitely do that. We're going to talk about magnetism next. But always, if I can understand a little bit about your business, what you're up to, then I can really get in there and coach you on these calls. Okay, so magnetism. This is the missing piece to feel confident in putting yourself out there. And this is when a lot of people think about confidence, is what they think about is like, how many of you have seen like a coach or someone online and you go, wow, like they just are so magnetic. I just feel it. I see it. When they talk on video or in their pictures or in their posts, I'm just drawn in. Have you ever had that experience? And in that moment, do you feel like, I'm not really feeling that confident in myself, right? I wish I could put myself out there that way, or I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that. Awesome, Debbie. Great to see you here. So just getting started and need help with the business aspect. Yeah, where did you identify if you were watching, Debbie? So business mastery was the main area. And then did you see a specific arena within business mastery? Like something, what's the gap, right? Always for me, it's like the gap between where you are and where you want to be, and then we can really see how to fill that. What are you struggling with the most? Now, I know you're coming into my 21-day challenge, Package Your Wisdom, and then also into our business coaching program. So I want to just share quickly for anybody else watching, Package Your Wisdom starts on Friday. It's our 21-day challenge, and it is an incredible program really designed to help you. If business mastery is the gap for you, or one of the gaps for you, then that is an incredible place to begin, because it's an accelerated 3-week challenge where you really get in there. Hi, Suzanne, great to see you. Where you really get in there and you get clarity on so much of what I talked about in the business mastery arena. So really getting clear on your unique gifts and superpowers, understanding like how to package that all up into packages and how to price that, and then moving through a lot of the fears and the self-doubt that get in the way, so you're ready to put yourself out there. You're ready to, like, if the ideal client shows up tomorrow, you are ready to go, right? And enroll them in your program. And you know how to share your message online. You're not confused anymore about like who you serve or what your message is or what kind of transformation you create for people. So I'm just going to drop the link here for anyone who's not signed up for that. It's by far our like most accessible program. It's less than $100 to participate at the time of this recording. I can't promise that'll be the same in the future, because the value is like easily 10x that. But we wanted to create something really accessible and affordable for you all, and accelerated for you to kick off, basically, for you to jumpstart. And then from there, like Debbie, I know you're going to continue working with us in our business bootcamp. That's where we're going to dive much deeper into sales and into marketing, right? But to get you ready, any of those of you watching, or even if you're coaching already and it feels like something isn't quite clicking, then that challenge is an amazing place to begin. Okay, so getting back to magnetism, I want you to feel really magnetic. And magnetism, by the way, looks different for everyone. I was just talking to someone the other day, and she was like, I see all these coaches online, and they all kind of look the same, and they're so beautiful, and they dress beautifully, and they da-da-da-da-da, right? And she was like, I don't feel like that. And I said to her, like, your magnetism is going to be completely unique to you. You don't need to look like everyone else. In fact, it's better in some ways if you don't, right? I mean, look like you. Look like you want to look, and be who you want to be, and step into the things that give you energy and vitality and aliveness. And that is when you will become magnetic. You guys get that? It's not about trying to fit into some box outside of you. Even the coaching box, which is an out of the box for most people, right? But it can still become a box. So break out of the box. What is your magnetism. So let's talk about that. What do I mean by magnetism? This is not something reserved for the lucky few. We all have it in us. We all have our own version. Like this woman, I saw her as like, she's like spunky and she's like cool, and I don't know, she has this like short hair, and she was like, I feel like I need to grow my hair long, or I need to, and I'm like, she can rock that short hair and like wear these outfits that she feels really good in and have her version of magnetism. And I want you to really reflect on that right now, is what is my version? If I were living full out, I didn't care what anyone else thought, and I wasn't scared of being judged, and I really like stretched out of my comfort zone and put myself out there in the biggest way possible, who would I be? Who would I be, and how would I be showing up? This is what we're talking about, right? What would I be doing? So magnetism, our work is about aliveness, follow your aliveness, right? So when somebody talks, you can see their eyes light up sometime when they're talking about something that they're really like passionate about, or that really brings them alive. Have you ever also seen someone who they have that glow about them when they're either talking about something or when they're doing something, right? You see someone up on stage and they're glowing, or you see someone dancing and they're glowing. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing. Have you ever noticed that kind of glow? Debbie, Suzanne, anyone else tuning in here, do you know what I'm talking about with that kind of glow, right? You see it sometimes with people. Debbie says, looking forward to getting started. I believe that's what will get me to the next step. Awesome. Yes, absolutely. But just let me know. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those of you watching right now. If so, type glow in the chat. Okay? Or yes, either one works. Because I want you to start to identify that. If you can see that glow in other people, it also exists in you. This is what I call your soul shine. It's literally your soul shining out through your eyes. And that soul shine, that's a little clue, that's a little nugget pointing you in the right direction, right? And so, okay, good. Getting some glows and some yeses. Hi, Holly, nice to see you. So when we're talking about magnetizers, when we're talking about what makes you magnetic, we're really talking about what makes your soul shine. Now, there's what we call enliveners, which are the things you do that bring you alive, that make your eyes light up and make you glow. But your soul shine are the things that like really, I think, are the biggest, right? And then your magnetizers are specifically those things that bring you alive that also grow your business. That's your magnetizers. It brings you alive, it gives you that glow, it also grows your business, or it also gets you visible in some way. Now, magnetizers are interesting because most people, when they think about their magnetizers, and I give them a long list in our programs of different things that could be magnetizers, and I'll name a few of them. Speaking could be a magnetizer, getting on live videos could be a magnetizer, recording pre-recorded videos like for a YouTube channel could be a magnetizer, writing posts, writing a book, doing live events, I don't know, dancing could even be a magnetizer if you somehow incorporate it into, like, you can do creative ones. We had someone that comedy was one of her enliveners, and she made it a magnetizer by doing like funny videos that grew her coaching business online, right? So there's ways to incorporate other things as well that you might not think of as like putting yourself out there. But if you think about, the different ways that you could put yourself out there online or in person to grow your business, what are the ones that you like really have a curiosity about, or that it might scare you, but you're like, oh, I feel like I should try that, or I kind of want to try that, or oh, I don't know, right? It's so funny because often people will talk about their magnetizers, or I'll give them a list and I'll see them light up on something and they're like, no, I don't know, I don't think I want to do that. And all the while their eyes are like bing, 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 right? So it's, again, because we have fear. We have fear of being judged. We have fear of putting ourselves out there. We have fear of trying something new. But I want you to really think about right now and type in the chat here, what would be some of your magnetizers? What are the things that when you do them, or you have a feeling that maybe this could be the case, even if you're scared right now, that you might be kind of good at it, or you might actually kind of enjoy it, right? If you didn't have the fear, if you weren't worried about being judged, that you might like to try it. What is that for you, right? I named a few already. Like for me, I'll tell you, photo shoots is a major magnetizer. I love photo shoots. I love being on video. I didn't even know I loved video, you guys. I I always thought I just liked the still camera. And I was like, video, whatever. I don't really feel like. And the more I started doing it, I was like, this is so much fun. I don't know why. Like, I just enjoy it. I love talking to you all here and having this kind of engage, especially live video is definitely my enlivener, way more than pre-recorded. Stand-up comedy. Okay, awesome. Hi, Claudia. Nice to see you. So, what are some of your magnetizers? I want to hear from you all who are watching. What do you think? Like, okay, I'll give you some other examples. Live video is one for me. Speaking is definitely one for me. Hosting live events. I love people. So, like, the interaction with people is huge for me. Um, what else? Think of some for you. What might be a magnetizer? And again, this might be scary at first. It might feel vulnerable. When I first was really stepping into, I think we have an article going about this week, is my mom wrote one because when she really pushed me around the photo shoots, I had so much resistance. I had so much fear. And she said, she pushed because she saw that it was something that lit me up. It was something that brought me alive. And I was like, that's vain. I feel like this was a few years ago in Amsterdam. We're sitting on her bed having this conversation, and I was just like, it's just like not a priority. Like, there's other things I need to be focused on. And besides, it's like vain. Like, why do I want to do photo shoots? It's ridiculous. And I don't really see how, blah, 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 right? I had so much fear and doubt and resistance. And I actually got mad at her because she was pushing me on it. And I was like, go away. But that's what a great coach does, right? Suzanne, we're pushing you, right? In a healthy way in the program to step out. Suzanne's in our Aliveness Master in our coaching certification to step out of her shell. And Claudia's just starting in the program as well, right, Claudia? But you've already come out as a whole new persona. And it's amazing to watch the transformation already. Debbie, helping others is a magnetizer. So helping others could be an enlivener for you. I wouldn't call that well, I guess it's a magnetizer in a way because it could grow your business in the sense of, if you get out there and you're working with people, of course, that's going to help grow your business. But do you see anything, Debbie, for you? Like, how do you want to put yourself out there, either online or in person, that will attract people? You see, is it live events? Is it speaking? Is it writing? Like, what have you seen other people doing that you're kind of like, oh, that would be interesting, or maybe I would try that, right? Suzanne says interactive workshops, dressing up, styling people. Ugh, love your styling. You're so great at that. So yeah, we need to see for you then, Suzanne, like what else there? How could that become a part of how you grow your business? I think there's definitely something there. I know you're going to be leading something at our event in Greece in September, which I'm really excited about. Holly, live events, speaking to groups, coaching, dressing in fashionable clothes. Right there with you, Holly, on all of those, right? So are you doing that, right? You probably are, but if you're not, where could you be doing that more? Where could you step into your magnetism more, even if you don't feel ready, even if you feel like, oh, I don't know, right? Putting myself out there in this way is to really stretch yourself. Choose one and do it in the next few weeks. That is what I'm talking about, because when we do that, our business grows. When you aren't looking around at what everybody else is doing and trying to follow their step-by-step process, right? Of course, we walk people through to learn about things like getting clear on your guests, getting clear on your target market, but that's all really personalized, right? How do you want to package and price yourself? We do all that in the Package Your Wisdom challenge that I'm talking about that starts Friday. And then when people come into, let's say, our business coaching programs, we go deeper. We teach sales, because if you don't know sales, then I always say it's like pouring water through a leaky bucket. You can do all the outreach and marketing in the world, but if you don't know how, and by the way, not just sales in general, sales for coaching, it's a very different thing. If you don't know how to enroll people, then you have all these leads coming in, and then they're just going, there's holes in the bottom of your bucket, right? They're just dripping out the bottom, and you're not actually enrolling those people. So how do you actually enroll those people as you learn sales? And how do you put yourself out there in a way online or in person that really fits for you? These are the kinds of things we teach in our business programs. So, and then in our Aliveness Mastery, our coaching certification, we're working a lot on your own personal transformation, and not personal transformation like you haven't done your healing and transformation already. It's transforming you. It's actually birthing a new version of you. I always say that program is 9 months because it's the birthing time. And we need that sometimes. Like I know both Claudia and Suzanne again are in that program, and you guys can speak to like the transformation. Suzanne, you've been in it longer. Claudia just started, but already I see huge shifts in you, Claudia, right? Huge. You stepped into this new version of yourself, and Suzanne also huge in the last few months. And so that's what we're talking about here in terms of transformation, is having that support and having that accountability of us as a tribe and of the other people in the community and us as your coaches to stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone to really go for it. That's what we're talking about with really stepping into confidence and into your magnetism. So, when you do this, your business grows. So, I talked about the photo shoots. The more I stepped into doing photo shoots, the more curious people became, the more clients we were getting. And now I do 4 to 6 shoots a year. And I love it. It's so much fun for me. It's one of my favorite things. And we bring photo shoots into our programs and into our events and workshops. And then, I have a client who really, like, she was shine motivated in our world changer quiz, and she just had all this like self-doubt about putting herself out there. And the more we really pushed and encouraged her to go for it, she started hosting master classes, she started getting super visible online, and now she's just so happy and she's shining and her business is growing as a result. And then another client who really, didn't resonate as much with the online, but they loved speaking and hosting events. And it was, nerve-wracking for them at first, but I said, start hosting events in your home and just bringing people together. And they did that, and then that started to grow, get them clients, and then they started to go out and land small speaking gigs and grow from there. And that's a huge part of how they've been growing their business, through their own magnetism. So again, we've talked about a lot of different pieces today. We've talked about coaching mastery, we've talked about business mastery and life mastery, and then we've talked about magnetism and how do you step into that more. I love that, Suzanne. It's like coming out as who we are. Yes, more and more of who you really are. So I want you to think about, from everything we've shared so far, what's something that you're going to take action on out of the call today? Are you going to do something that makes you magnetic and really go for that, even if it scares you? Are you going to get support in one of the areas we talked about? If it's business mastery or really any of those areas, I think the Package Your Wisdom is a great place to begin, but especially if business mastery was one of the gaps. And again, that starts Friday. It's 3 weeks, it's 21 days, and it's just a phenomenal program. Think of it like a kickstart, jumpstart, but you really need to lean in and do the work. If you're gonna just have it sit on your computer, then that's not the time to sign up for any program, right? You want to feel like you're going to jump in there. Now, I will say we've made it very live and interactive because I don't really like the whole just buy a program and go through it on your own time kind of thing, because so much of the time we just don't do it, right? So what we did was we made it a live program. There are pre-recorded parts you watch, but you're in a live Facebook group with other people. You're getting support. You're getting your questions answered. You have live office hours coaching calls with me in the group, where I answer questions and do live coaching, and you get a one-on-one coaching session. You guys, all of that for $100 at the time of this recording. It may have gone up by the time you watch this, but that's an incredible deal. I don't know anything else like this out there. And so highly, highly encourage you, if you haven't participated in that yet, to come to that. I dropped the link in the chat so you can check it out. And by the way, even if you're listening to the replay, we'll plan to run this again in the future. So definitely check out the link and we'll update if there's new dates. Okay, so I want this to be the program. If you do decide to come into the Package Your Wisdom, I want this to be the program that has you stop signing up for a million other programs and not getting results. And it's really for you if you're in that place where you feel like you've done a lot of your own healing, right? You've had a lot of transformation. You've maybe worked with coaches and you have this wisdom to share now. You have something you want to share. It's why it's called Package Your Wisdom. And you're really in this place of being ready to help others, but you're struggling with some challenges and some roadblocks that are getting in your way. You're struggling with self-doubt, imposter syndrome, not knowing the next steps to take to really grow your business, not knowing exactly who you want to serve and how you want to put yourself out there. Like any of these challenges, not having the support in the community to really do it, if those are what you're dealing with right now or any of the above, then that's what we really walk you through. This is also really for you if you've tried other programs and it hasn't worked. Again, only though if you're going to show up for this. If it's like you just have that as a pattern and you're kind of flirting with the idea of having a coaching business, but you're not really serious about it, then you're not going to get the results here or anywhere, right? You have to be ready to go for it, to go all in, and to say, this is the time, and decide. And if you are, we give you so much support to do that. It's very different, like I said, than a self-study program. And you get, even though it is a group program, you get a lot of personalized, coaching and support within it. So that is, this is again, the program to end all programs as I'm concerned, or to really kick you off that you can go for it and get clients. Okay, so let's see. And then the number one key I wanted to share before we close to confidence, because that's what we're talking about today, is confidence. We've talked about a lot of different areas, but truly, if I tune in deep down, like what made the difference in me being able to get confidence in these areas? When we talked about the coaching trinity of coaching mastery, business mastery, life mastery, what made the difference there? Or me stepping into my magnetism? What was really the reason I did all of that? And it was getting support. It was finally working with not only one coach or mentor, right? You all know Gigi Sage, my business partner, is also my mentor. But not only one coach, I worked with multiple coaches, but not in the way of like just signing up for a bunch of different programs haphazardly. I have like systematically gone out, identified, just like I had you guys do, identified what are the gaps. I'm doing this constantly to grow to the next level. What are the gaps in those areas, business mastery, coaching mastery, life mastery, and whatever the gap is, I go out, find someone who has done it, find someone who's successful in that area, and I hire them. I work with them. And again, there's all different kinds of mentors and coaches out there at all different price points. And that's why we have programs like Package Your Wisdom that's only $100. And then we have our high ticket programs for people who want to come in and get a lot more support and really kind of handheld, not in an overly way, but right, like have us walking the path with them. So all different investment levels, right? So it's not to say that you have to go invest huge amounts in your business right off the bat, but the investment you make is often equal, of course, to what you get out of it, right? But all this to say that whatever stage you're at, find someone, figure out the gap, find someone who's filled that gap, find someone who has mastered that area, and go learn from them. That is what has made the biggest difference for me. That is why I have grown the way we have grown and continue to grow quickly. And that is why deep down I have unshakable confidence, because I know, here's the deal, I know that I will figure it out no matter what. I know that when I put my mind to something, unless the universe is like really aligned that it's not the thing that I'm supposed to do, in which case, okay, well, then you learn from that. But when I feel truly aligned, like in growing this coaching business, I know without a doubt we're going to do it. I know we're going to keep growing. I know we're going to have huge success. We're going to change so many lives. And it's just a matter of keeping on going and getting the right support. If I do those things and it fails, well, then I've done everything I can, right? I've tried my all, and then it just wasn't meant to be. But it had nothing to do with me not being good enough, or with it not being meant to be, in the sense of me really, having that clarity that I am going to make this happen. So I want you to feel that kind of confidence. I want you to feel unshakable deep down, that like, this is it. And I'm going to make this happen no matter what. And I'm going to get the support I need to fill those gaps. And so if that's us, we would love to support you. Like I said, we have that challenge. We have other ways that we can support. If you're curious about, one of our other programs, you can type Clarity in the chat below, or you can go through the challenge and you can really have that support, and then let us know if you're curious about, something beyond that point. Okay, everyone, hope you had a great takeaway from the call today. Would love to hear from you in the chat even after I close this out, because we're going to wrap up here. What was your biggest takeaway? What are you going to apply? Okay, thank you for being here. I'll see you all next week. Bye.